6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. Blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
Such sights to show you. We'll tear your soul apart.
Hi, this is Danielle Harris, and you're watching Death Curse Society.
Just in the middle of a dream, I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. But I can't be late, 'cause then I guess I just won't get paid. These are the days when you wish your bed was already made. It's just another manic Monday. It was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. I don't have to Monday, it's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. It's just another manic Monday.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday, Maniacs, to you, and welcome back to another episode of Death Curse Society. Colonel's getting it kicked off by cracking open a cold, frosty beer.
Goddamn right.
What are you drinking, sir?
Oh, I'm enjoying it while they're still making it, since it's just a summer series. I'm drinking Scooter, the Blood Orange Rattler. So good.
Is that a local
get
brew?
you drunk, but it tastes fantastic.
Is that a local brew?
Yeah, Braxton Brewery from Covington, Kentucky.
Very nice, very nice. I know somebody that really likes that local Kentucky brew.
Lucky I barely heard you. I had no idea what you were saying.
I said, I know somebody that really likes that local Kentucky brew, and it's Chucky. Well, is that better?
Does.
Can you
Much
hear me
better.
now?
Yes.
All right. All right. Oh, man, we have had a hell of a week. and weekend was kind of hell as well, but we'll get into all that later. Colonel, how was your week, sir?
Not as interesting or as fun as yours. But I did get a chance to chill this weekend. Very rarely do I pull a double feature of new releases and at home. And by God, I got lucky and I was able to watch Prey and They Them in one night. And it was glorious. I did not know how bad I needed a double feature at home.
Right? Isn't it nice whenever you just get there and you're like, you know what? I'm shutting out the rest of the world. I'm just going to dive into some stuff that I hopefully will love, like horror movies, and you're able to partake, and especially a double feature. That's always a good thing.
Dude, it was awesome. I had my AC going in my room. There's like a fucking ice box in there, dude. Fan-fucking-tastic.
I think I iceboxed the shit out of Ziggy and FaZe this weekend. I'm not sure they liked the temperature set morgue level at 68 degrees.
That's right up my alley, man. They're crazy. But then again,
how
I
I
don't
roll.
know. Whose house were they colder at? Yours or mine? Because yours was AC. Mine's because they covered the vent with a damn air mattress, but swear there's no heat coming in that room. That room has never been that cold before or since.
Mine was a mechanical issue. They think yours is a ghostly issue, but
It's possible that it is.
yeah, we've told that story. We've told
Yes,
that
we
story.
do. No reason to. Except for now that it's pink. Princess Pink.
Exactly,
So,
and that will be Ziggy's room from now on.
it is.
If you're wondering, Ziggy will be joining us hopefully later on. He is in Atlanta right now trying to catch his flight up to Detroit. He may make it, he may not. Honestly, you're not going to miss much because, well, Ziggy's not here. No, but we do have some video clips that he did record for us about the movies that we're going to be talking about here in a minute. And he's got one other special video that we're going to play it to kind of summarize our weekend. It looks like Tyrone's here, Tanya's here, Lorena's here, Charles is here, Adam's in the house. By the way, Adam says, I want to hear some singing from Crank. You got what you were going to get. Because I locked down the Facebook page if they took any more clips for a little bit. I didn't realize they put that out there. I wish they would have recorded something later that I sang that was a little heavier, but we'll see. Thank you for the compliment, though. I do appreciate it.
Your singing sucks.
Do what?
So your singing sucks.
Nah, that was not my best night, but the other songs were a little better. Seth is here. Orlando's here. Yes. Rest in peace, Olivia Newton-John. Just got the news on that. Also, Sunday we found out about Clu Gulager. That was interesting timing and sad at the same time. There's FaZe. Says sitting in a Dallas airport for an hour layaway. Hooray! But at least you get to watch part of the show before you take off. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys. Like I said, we're going to be reviewing the movies Prey, which dropped on Hulu this weekend, and also They, Them, which dropped on Peacock. You have to get the premium to be able to watch that. So I signed up for it, and I'm probably going to turn it off today. Because, holy shit, the first movie, I don't remember seeing that many commercials, if any, while we watched They, Them. But then we introduced FaZe to Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and there were probably more commercials than the actual movie in this. So
Seriously?
fuck that, dude. There was a point where they showed 2 scenes in between 2 commercial breaks. It was ridiculous, and this cat don't roll like that. I'm not dealing with that.
See, the sad part is I didn't realize last year you can watch Halloween Kills without having the premium. So I paid for the premium. I'm like, I need to cancel this. And almost a year later, I still have not canceled it because I keep forgetting because I never watched Peacock
Right.
until Friday night. So
Yeah, you got to get rid of it.
Down the fucking drain, I can say.
You got to get rid of it when you get the chance. So, looks like Carrie and Rachel are here. Rachel is I hope that means probably Jimmy's watching as well. So, damn it. One more thing. I kept scrolling up for it and then I forgot to do it. Let me get to this and thank our members, our final girls, Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, Luke, S. Michael, Patricia, Tanya, and Tyrone. And, of course, our crazy Ralph Raymond. And then our camp counselors, Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Kiara, and Dave. Thank you guys very much for helping support the show. Yeah. We don't have Ziggy with his soundboard, so it maybe a quieter night with DCS. But yeah,
I can do it.
check out Death Curse Society. Check out deathcursesociety.com to figure out how you can become a member, get some extra perks from us, and help support the show.
Yep.
So,
and, real quick, if I can't go into detail. I'm just saying, if you want the Colonel special, you'll want to sign up for the Final Girls and Guys. This isn't our best T-shirt we made for the Final Girls and Guys by any means, but you'll get a kick out of it. That's what I'm going to say.
I think you're going to like it. I'm going to have to find a very good photographic representation of what we need, which is proving to be very difficult so far. So you'll see once you get it, folks. Just trust me, you will see. But first on our agenda tonight is we're going to talk about the movie Prey from Hulu and Fox Studios. And I should have moved these posters, but oh well, fuck it. Too late now. This is an origin story of the Predator in the world of the Comanche Nation 300 years ago. Naru is a skilled female warrior who fights to protect her tribe against one of the first highly evolved predators to land on Earth. Colonel, initial thoughts on Prey, if you would, sir.
Okay, so I was looking forward to this. I really was. I'm not the hugest Predator fan because I don't think they've made a decent Predator movie since Predator 2. I ain't even get hate for saying that because, let's be honest, it's kind of bad, but it's good. So I'm watching it, and you guys know I'm a stiffler for this, and this isn't even taking anything away from the movie. That was not the Great Northern Plains, just saying. That was obviously filmed in Canada or somewhere, but okay, that's whatever. I can overlook it. I don't know what to say without giving too much away right now. Just the story kept my attention. I appreciated the fact that the cast were natives, so to the studio. I really appreciated that. That's long overdue. Boy, that CGI was on some sci-fi level shit. I'm not gonna lie. It was really fucking rough. It was. The design of the Predator was pretty rough, in my opinion. But all in all, we'll get into that. All in all, though, I enjoyed the film. I thought it was pretty good. Not the best, but it was better than Aliens versus Predator 2 or anything like that. So,
right.
And so I enjoyed it, and I like the story arc through it too. Where it's like her moment, like.
I did, even though it was so recycled and so one of those things we see all the time, you know, that it being placed maybe in a different time, you know, with the Comanche Nation in the 1700s may have changed that a little bit, but I don't know. I appreciate what you're saying there, though. Patricia, I want to throw this up because this leads into exactly what I wanted to start with. I've heard nothing but good things about Prey. I agree. I have heard very little negativity about this until Zigzag, FaZe, and I watched it live sitting in a couch at an Airbnb in Oklahoma City this weekend. That was when the negative... We almost Mystery Science Theater 3000 the shit out of this movie. So, because it was... at times that cheesy and that underperforming. But is this, as Charles says, the best since the original, considering that every film since 2 is complete shitfest? He also adds that 2 is way better than Prey, which I agree. I mean, if I was going to rank these right now, yeah, 1, 2. Prey would probably be 3, maybe 4.
I was sticking with 3. 1, 2, Prey. Because I'm kind of with Charles in charge here. Dude, I think every Predator movie is fucking shit after those 2. Prey is the only one that I've been like, huh. I mean, maybe the bar was so low that's maybe why I liked it so much. I mean, definitely not the best Predator. But we'll get more into that. But yeah, ranking-wise, it definitely comes in at a solid number 3.
Fair enough.
Not much competition.
Well, my initial thoughts on the movie were, I thought the acting was great. I thought most of the technical aspects, if you will, were pretty good. There were a couple, like you already mentioned, the CGI. Some of that completely took me out of the film just because it looked like humans fighting a cartoon, you know, and this was not supposed to be Roger Rabbit. So it just looked bad, and that took me out. And then a lot of the predictability of the plot kind of bothered me too, but that's where we are with filmmaking anymore. It's almost hard to surprise hardcore filmmakers. So, well, dang it, I needed to load these up. Let me get one of. Let me get the initial thoughts from Ziggy and FaZe. We got some video clips that we have recorded that we are going to show from them from time to time. So hopefully this works, and let's see what Ziggy and FaZe have to say about initial thoughts on Prey.
I'll be honest, I was looking forward to this. Every time a Predator movie gets announced, I'm usually excited for the premise, what they're offering. This is something completely unique, and I thought this could be pretty good. And while it's not awful and a complete flop, it does lack a lot of what I was hoping for. Some of the beats, we were calling out lines and plot points before it happened. Shouldn't be able to do that in something like this. I understand it's a tribute movie kind of thing and a retelling and 300 years prior. Great. Kind of missed the mark on, in my opinion. Overall, though, it is entertaining and some of the worst CGI I've ever seen in my life. So that is all going to play into it. But it's not the worst Predator film in the series at all. It's certainly not the best.
FaZe?
Well, you know, going into it, you got Predator, big name. You're thinking, okay, you got Fox Studios working on it. Okay, should be some quality here. But I don't know. I mean, for a semi-horror action movie, really wasn't a whole lot of action. You waited a really long time to get to it. There was some hunting with the main characters, but that wasn't as exciting. You just wanted to get to the Predator. But what was it, the 40-minute mark before we saw him?
Yeah, it was almost an hour in before he even really makes contact with the people, the folks.
Crazy. It's just we spent 40 minutes introducing all of these characters who I don't remember any of their names, I don't remember any of their personalities, and usually I would if I spent 40 minutes getting to know them, but instead all they established was maybe 5 minutes worth of this village and this clan in a span of just way too much time, and I don't know, that just didn't do it for us. And I'm confused as to why it's getting so praised, I guess. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, the critical acclaim, it's not making sense to me either. You guys are going to have to chime in and tell us what the fuck we're missing, because, I don't know, we're taping this, so I don't know if we're going to be Universal or those guys are going to say something different, Crank and Colonel, but man, I'm feeling like 3 of us are on the same page at least.
We'll see.
All right, so there's their thoughts on it.
So I have a counter argument for Zach.
All right.
Unfortunately, he's not here to discuss this. So he mentioned, we were calling out plot points and this and that. This movie was awful. I was calling out plot points. One of his favorite movies this year called The Sadness.
Oh, yeah.
It's every movie. Like I kind of said earlier, it's been like this since the 80s. I mean, you won't see one Predator movie, you've seen them all. You can always call it the plot points. That, I think, is being a little too nitpicky. Like, come on, dude.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, one of the things, and I'm sure anybody that's ever seen or loves the original Predator movie from 1987, when right before the line, "If it bleeds, we can kill it," is said in Prey, we had already said it. You know? And we knew it was coming. We knew that was the perfect place to put it, and sure enough, it's said. But, you know, it was things like that make it a rough movie for us to watch anyway.
I understand, but we'll take something else. It's sci-fi, so it still kind of counts. I'll take the Obi-Wan series. Did I not find it super fucking cheesy? And called it when Obi-Wan's like, "Hello there." Like, I knew it was fucking coming, and I still called it, and I still enjoyed it. I mean, it's fanfare, man. It's fan service.
Yeah. All right, let me hit a couple comments here before we move on. BK says, "I knew it. Crank killed Zigzag while teaching him the line dance." You're wrong, sir. A, I don't line dance. B, I definitely don't teach line dancing. But, yeah, I may have killed Zigzag. That's a different story. Orlando's here. What's up, Orlando? Your movie's getting ready to be shot soon. We need to talk about that at some point. He says he prefers Prey over Predator 2. Ooh, okay. Maria Conchita Alonso's acting brought it down for me. All right, fair enough. I can see that. I also feel more of a connection between Predator and Prey because of Billy, the Native American, in the film. Fair enough. I got you. I'm starting to think, and we're not on topic or anything right now, but I'm starting to think that Naru, the female lead in this, and we're getting ready to talk about her, she may be, or Billy may be a direct descendant from her and that tribe. Is the tie that I got anyway. I don't know. Did you get that feeling also?
A little bit, but at the same time, I'm not sure what tribe Billy belonged to. I have to watch the first one again to see if they even mention it.
Right.
So, again, wrong tribe for that terrain. But I digress. That's my biggest complaint.
Fair enough, yeah. Carrie says, "Just want to say thank you for keeping me company on Monday nights, Tuesday mornings. That's what we're here for. We're a society. We're a family. We could sit here and chat all night about movies if we could, but, you know, some of us have day jobs, so they have to ruin the fun." No, just
It happens.
Peter Anthony's here. What's up, Peter? He says, "The story was so far-fetched, her killing spree, a.k.a. John Wick, so embarrassingly over the top, and her knowledge of infrared and tracking devices was futuristic. 6 out of 10 at best." All right, he's already throwing out the number at us, so I like that. Throw your rankings out too. Let us know what you give it. He does also add, though, the flintlock gun homage to Part 2 was one cool spot, and there was the same name on the gun. Yes, we went back and looked at Part 2 also, and yeah.
That was the coolest Easter egg in the movie for me. I was like, oh shit. Granted, my question is, how the fuck do they get the gun? But it's for another day.
Right. Josh Brucey's here. He says, "Believe it or not, I watched Prey and I enjoyed it, but that's not saying much." And he also adds, "Jared has the voice of an angel." Thank you, but don't use my real name, goddamn.
Too late.
Too late. And Charles also chimes in, "The modern-day California accent that the Indians spoke was quite comical for me." That's something that's going to come up here in a minute. But before we get to that, I want to talk to Colonel about his thoughts on the female lead. Naru, played by Amber Midthunder. What did you think of her performance?
I thought she did a great job compared to the rest of the cast. Like, she didn't feel like cardboard, if that makes sense. She was like the only character that I felt actually had a life to her, a story to tell. She fucking killed it. Yes, I'm kind of with Peter on some of these. Some of her shit was a little far-fetched. But that's okay. I mean, I was kind of watching her. Granted, we'll take it from one, sci-fi universe to another. She's not quite as badass as Ripley from Alien, but to me, she was that badass character like Ripley. Like that's just kind of how I saw it. Granted, you can't compare it to because I like Alien better than Predator, so Ripley's number one. But no, man, I had no problem with it. She held her own. I really like the fact she beat the fuck out of that one guy when they were trying to take her back to the tribe. That was cool. Like I said, the whole Predator thing was a little too much.
Yeah.
I get it. They had to end it somehow. So
Yeah. All right. Again, yeah, I thought she did very well. She was definitely acting-wise a highlight, character development-wise a highlight in this film. The only negative I really have about it doesn't really concern her. It's just the writing of her role and the cookie-cutter nature of it. I mean, we all saw at one point, I pretty much described, the second act is going to be this. And almost to a T, I think I listed 4 things that were going to happen. And all 4 of those things happened within the next 30, 40 minutes. So it was just way too predictable and not as exciting as I would have liked in a Predator film. But let's see what Ziggy and FaZe have to say about the female lead, Amber Midthunder. Yes, I am looking off screen to IMDb to see if I can say her name right. So, you caught me. You busted me. Ziggy, take it away.
Well, a female lead's becoming more common these days. It's always nice to see, and more representation outside of the usual, white male. I guess that's a typical thing to say in 2022. But again, I don't remember anything about this character. They spent a lot of time on her, introducing her. All I really got out of their clan is that they have this respect, system where if you can hunt well, you're respected. If you can't hunt well, you're shunned. You can do that in 2 minutes and you did it in 40.
It's all about girl empowerment in this kind of thing, and absolutely that's what they went for here. Think Luke Skywalker or even Rey in the new Star Wars series. That's what they went for here. But she's not quite there yet. She's clearly going to be a great warrior, but and circumstances rushed this process. But this is supposed to be 300 years ago. 300 years ago, and it does not have the feel of a period piece like that. Like where Braveheart feels like old Scotland, that's the kind of thing you want, and you want to take that, and it doesn't have that. It doesn't have that feeling at all. I think she's good. All the acting is fine, it's Comanche. They're Comanche, and I almost think I have to go back and watch this with the Comanche dub, where they're speaking the language. I think this could be better that way because, man, the dialogue is again, it's not hell at all. It's not created female.
Just wait, dude.
Oh yeah, or how about something, and it just doesn't feel that way. It's around the video game, like a baby, or she levels and it loses any grasp on reality possible in a movie about an alien.
Is Crank the one frozen, or is it just me?
I may be frozen. Can you hear me?
You're back now.
Okay. Yeah. It looks like I'm experiencing some some of Ziggy's crappy internet problems right now. So
It rubs
we did have
off on us.
we did have a storm run through right before we went live. So I don't know what's going on out there now, but let me look at
That's
something
funny.
right now.
I stayed still as shit, not knowing if it was me or not. So I was kind of waiting to see. Like, good. I think we confused everybody.
Yeah, it looks like a couple people are saying we were frozen up. So yeah, hopefully you got that, the majority of that. But were you able to hear it, Colonel?
I didn't hear most of it.
Okay. No, yeah, they're kind of saying we froze up a little bit. Hopefully, it looks like we're like more connected now and synced in a little bit better now. So
Okay.
yeah, I like this. Tyrone says Max Hendricks, Max Headroom, something like that. Yeah.
Purpose was.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I kind of disagree with FaZe a little bit on this because he says he really didn't know much about this girl. I thought she was pretty well thought out. Did you think so, Colonel?
Oh yeah, her and her brother were thought out. I think through his sibling rivalry. You know, he's the top hunter in the tribe. She wants that status. He uses her hunting technique to catch the mountain lion, whatever. So you get a sense of those two. Granted, like I said, his acting was a little stiff. But I still felt these characters were well defined as to where, like, his buddies and the French fur traders and were just kind of like there. It was like
Right.
just background pieces. Like they're like your little green army men that you put up front. You know, your infantry, and then you had like your artillery behind them. Like those guys are just infantry there, just taking every line of sight, while these two can build up and get their way to the front. If that makes sense. Probably a terrible analogy, but
Yeah, I think I got what you're doing.
no. Well,
And
no, go ahead.
nope, go ahead.
I'll say Ziggy again. He's like, oh, if all people was a fucking accurate time period piece, it's me. Okay, but
Right.
you cannot compare this to Braveheart. Braveheart's budget was probably 10 times the amount the budget was for this.
Probably
And
more than
another
that.
thing, that's not the Northern Great Plains. There's nothing Great Plains about that. You're there, Crank. You're practically close to the Great Plains. You can verify this. It's fucking flat, right?
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
Yeah. So
Flat, nasty, and hot.
yeah. Again, a complaint, but I didn't hold it against this movie. Now I have a question for you, unless you guys
All
already
right.
tackled this. Do you think watching it, I'm sure you guys are pretty loose, as a group, followed you're kind of directed the way you're going to think about this movie? Because I was able to watch it by myself and totally zone in. I wasn't playing Mystery Science Theater 3000 with my buddies watching this.
No, I mean, because we were still paying attention. I think we were even paying more attention to it. And when I say we were basically Mystery Science Theater 3000ing it, we weren't talking the entire fucking movie. It was just whenever something ridiculous did come up, like some of the CGI, we kind of just slumped back, into the chair or whatever, and was like, really, or something like that, or we, like I said, we were calling out lines that were coming or plot points that were coming. Other than that, then no, we didn't. It wasn't like we were just trying to be funny over the top of it. So, no, I don't think that changed our perception of it at all. But I will say this, like Colonel said, or not, like Ziggy said, it may be better to watch it with the Comanche language and then the English subtitles, because we did not, and that may change part of the appeal of this movie. So that's just me.
I'm with you. I did not watch it with the Comanche subtitles. It seeming like I'm the one that liked this movie the most out of the four of us. And I still think the subtitles would have went a long way with this.
Right. Want to hit something here real quick. James is here. He says, hello, everybody.
What's up, James?
Hey, James, did not catch up with you this weekend. Did not see you. We were looking for you, but did not see you anywhere. So hope you had a good weekend, and maybe we'll catch you next time. BK says, flat, nasty, and hot was my high school girlfriend's nickname. Yep, that's how you describe the Great Northern Plains. Anyway, so we've kind of talked about it a little bit. The Naru's journey was so simplified and so cookie cutter for me. You knew at the beginning of the movie she was going to be looked down upon because she was a girl, and then somebody, her brother was going to try to be the big hero, and then he was going to come in and try to save her, and then she was going to rise up and against all odds dominate, blah 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 blah. You kind of knew where this was going, but did it still feel realistic to you, Colonel? I mean, because to me, it felt a little blown up.
It did feel a little blown up, and I get what you guys are saying about all this is predictable, because all movies, like we said earlier, are all predictable. That's why I'm trying. Like, okay, I don't remember Scream being slammed like this when we reviewed it for being predictable. It might have. I just don't remember. My big thing with me, and again, it's good for the times. Like I said, I like seeing a strong, badass woman taking the lead. Now, I wouldn't compare it to Rey and Star Wars. Like, to me, it's Ripley. I've seen it as Ripley. Granted, This is more common. That's kind of the route these franchises are going nowadays. But historically, it only bothered me because back then women didn't fight or hunt. But I can never look at that because the movie wasn't made in 1702. It was made in 2022. So it didn't bother me to see a woman doing any of that. Granted, historically, for accuracy, that's just not. They weren't Vikings. Vikings did that, yes, and Native Americans, no. The men hunt, the women stay behind. It's just the way it was.
Okay.
So yay to her because I enjoyed her story. I don't care what she said.
All right. Well, let's see what Ziggy and FaZe thought about that.
You know why it works? This retread, same old plot point that you've seen a million times, because technically they did it 300 years ago. That's why it works. But I mean, it's not so. It's such a small piece of this because you already know she's going to rise to the occasion, whatever you want to call it, and so it didn't bother me. It didn't take me out. It didn't. No, that didn't. I think it was. They used the formula as it was intended.
Yeah, I mean, the formula is a little dry at this point, maybe a little overused, and it does make the movie a little too predictable. There was a point where Crank just rattled off some story beats. All right, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. The next 20 minutes, those exact things happened, and I knew they were gonna happen because it was pretty obvious. Oh
no, there were.
You know what's gonna happen.
It was. You'd say the sentence before the sentence was said. It was that quick. I mean, it was right there. It was that obvious. That obvious, man. I mean, you just knew. You just knew.
But all in all, the female lead, the theming behind that, her having to fight for her, over these, fight for her strength, show these guys that, she can hunt just like them, it's that kind of story. They did all right with that. But I've seen it a million times.
All right. Yeah. Anything to rebut on that there, Colonel?
Again, this is just I'm having a hard time doing this review with you guys. Because everybody keeps bringing up the fact, the story's been done a million times. You're telling me 13 years ago when I watched Friday the 13th remake, the only twist I kind of threw me off, the tunnels, but we'll talk about the kills. The plot I was able to figure out was when he left the dude behind for fucking bait. Okay, that was new for Jason. I'd never seen that shit before. But the rest of it, I was pretty much able to call the fucking shots.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know why we're shitting on this movie for this, because it's been this way for over a decade now, if not longer.
The 2009 remake of Friday the 13th was a remake of multiple movies that we had seen multiple times. So, of course, we're going to see some of the same story beats there. This was supposed to be a prequel and a new take on an existing franchise, but
I get
taken
that,
back.
I knew what I was getting into when I was watching it. I knew I was going to watch this. I was going to watch a fucking Predator movie. Prequel or not, This Predator, it's going to follow these same exact steps.
Yeah.
It's the formula for all of them. I mean, look, her story is damn near the same as Danny Glover's in Predator 2. Didn't want to believe it. He gets the courage to fight the fucking Predator. I'm sorry. I just can't shit on this movie like you guys can for that.
All right. Well, Tyrone says, I know where all the movies are going. The last one he remembers seeing that he wasn't able to predict was Saw. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good track record right there. I'm with you on that. I normally know where most movies are going, but sometimes they throw me a curveball. Stacy Lynn's here. Welcome to the show, Stacy. Glad you're watching. And James said, yeah, he wasn't. Oh, somebody commented. He wasn't able to make it this weekend because his grandmother has passed away. So, James, sorry to hear that. Condolences to you and your family. And, man, I hope.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I hope we can catch up at the next con if we get a chance to see you down there. Oh, Jimmy. Jimmy's commenting. He says, I agree with Colonel. I think it was way better than I thought. She kicked ass, and she was just using her knowledge of what she was taught as a female in the tribe, but also used her head to help her. All right. Fair enough. This is one of those I respect all the opinions on. I can't really argue with it too much. So, we got to talk about the CGI, because did that take you out of the movie as much as it did me, and I think Ziggy, because it, like, whenever I saw like the cartoon snake at the beginning, I was just like, this can't be the best it gets. And then the CGI proceeded to get worse the more animals they included, to me.
Man, the CGI was complete and utter fucking shit. I'm with you. The snake, the wolf. I mean, the bear looked terrible. Granted, that fight scene between the predator and the bear was pretty cool. And I like the fact, you gutted it and let the blood pour over him, and then you kind of see that line of the predator.
Yeah.
But it still looks shitty. It looks shitty. I can't. As cool as it looked fucking shitty. And like I said, even the CGI used for the Predator and the design of the Predator was fucking shitty. Again, this was obviously made to go straight to the streaming service. They're not going to throw money at it for better CGI. There's no way that could have released in the fucking theaters.
No.
Like I said, it was sci-fi original level shit. And it really did take me out of the movie. Like, again, if it wasn't for, I'm drawing a blank here. Naru?
Naru.
Okay, Naru. I want to say Naruto. I don't know fucking why when I say Naru. Her performance was able to keep me in it for the most part, just hold me there, even though the CGI was shit.
Uh-oh. Hi.
Didn't say hi, and I need you to go back upstairs.
Hi. All right, bye.
All right, go back upstairs, please.
Somebody got broken out of jail upstairs. Well, while we're letting Colonel deal with that, let's see what FaZe and Ziggy think.
Saying at first, like, maybe they got some interns. Maybe these are some new guys, and they're just starting. These are new guys CGI. Did they mention this is Fox Studios? I'm like, oh, they've got professionals behind this. They've got experience. They should have experienced CGI animators. Maybe they brought in the interns for this one. I don't know, but I'm not pretending to be a 3D animation CGI buff, but there were some parts where I'm just looking at them, just like, dude, come on, a couple more weeks of editing at least, maybe, to make them look a little bit more polished. Because yikes, for a Predator movie that's heavy on CGI, where that should be more of the focus, and it wasn't really.
But did it take you out?
Some parts, yes. Not as much as these guys, maybe, because I can handle bad CGI better than these guys. Maybe because of the time I grew up in. I grew up with really shitty CGI, but if bad CGI has taken me out, it's bad.
This is something, if you're going to take on a title like this, you paid for the license or whatever the hell it is. You want to recoup your money, you have to go all in, man. This isn't a sci-fi fucking movie. This isn't Zombie Tidal Wave. This isn't Sharknado. The CGI is on par with that. You see a snake in the first 5 minutes. I was lost on that one with this. I was all like, oh no.
It wasn't great.
Because, yeah, man, it's not believable. I started picturing, when the Predator's going to open up the technology with the lasers and shit, that's going to look shitty. Practical effects in the original Predator are fucking fantastic, man. That is some blood splatter. And this movie takes to the technique of, I'm going to show somebody else watching somebody get taken out and get their reaction instead of showing you the actual stuff. So we weren't tormented with a bunch of bad CGI effects that way, any violence like that, but anytime there was an animal, so there's a deer, and it looks bad as it is, it's a startling moment, it comes running out of the brush, but then right on its heels, you see what the real problem is. It's a fucking grizzly bear. And it's the absolute worst rendering of an aggressive attacking bear. And if you weren't taken out by the CGI at this point, and then you get through the bear scene, man, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good, because it gets no worse than this. And it's fucking awful. It ruins the intense moment. It ruins everything about it, because it's a heavy thing. She's about to get ripped to shreds by a goddamn bear, and you're just thinking, I've seen better on Sega Genesis, man.
Oh my god.
It's fucking brutal. Brutal.
Yeah.
Okay, better on Sega Genesis. His memory's a little fucking foggy, if you know what I mean.
Well,
Come on. Now, if he said I've seen better on PS4,
yes.
All right, yeah, I won't argue. But dude, PS2 and down, that was way better than anything. Just saying.
Yeah, I know. I think he was exaggerating there, or he's just old and has lost his fucking mind. I don't really.
I don't know if he remembers NHL '94, but it didn't look as good as that fucking bear. Just saying. And that bear looked like shit.
I want to go back up to this comment from Charles here, because he says it's amazing and frustrating that Hollywood knew how to portray strong female heroines better back in the day. Sigourney Weaver, Linda Hamilton, and even most horror films saw women as fighters and survivors, and no one batted an eye. And now it's like if the hero is a woman, she is automatically perfect and doesn't need the hero's journey. Why? I would have preferred to see her fail over and over and then rise to the occasion and win by exploiting a weakness no one saw coming. I could get on board with that.
I can too, but she kind of had her hero's journey. She did fail. Not over and over, but she failed with the lioness hunt. That's probably her encounter with the bear. Those are her two fails. Right. That and dumbass didn't know how to look out for fucking quicksand. But, I mean, I see where Charles is coming. And I'm not even saying he's wrong. She did have a hero's journey. Was it an in-depth hero's journey? No. But can we say Luke Skywalker had an in-depth hero's journey in New Hope? Not really.
No. So, all right. Well, I think we're ready to rate this. And I'm going to let the guys start it out. Ziggy and FaZe start out with the
They're not even here.
Well, that's why I want to get them out of the way. I'm trying to shorten this up as best we can. We're already at 49 minutes, so here we go.
Premise, again, concepts are everything. I'm always a mark for the concepts. When I hear them and I hear things, I love it. I think that could work. I always think that. I give them the benefit of the doubt. It's all about the execution. And, man, I'm extremely disappointed with where this one went. I'm all good for the Comanche, mostly crew and cast in this, pulling it off. Great, man. I'm all for that. That's fine. But you're taking on a major IP property. You're taking on a major property in the fucking movie world, and you got to live up to it, and you got to put it all in when you're going to do it. You can't deliver with some half-ass graphics like that. It's decent. It's probably going to spawn some more based off of this, maybe throughout time. I think we even talked about this when we looked at the trailer way back when, and get ready for more Predators in different timelines. That's what I see coming. As far as the score, I'm just really disappointed, man. I'm going to say 4.5 4.5 for this, for Prey. I'm not with y'all out there on this. Tell me why I'm wrong.
How about you, FaZe?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed the early 1700s setting, 300 years ago. They did, they worked pretty hard to capture this, clan living in this time. I could see the effort put in. But, yeah, like you said, the effort was put into the wrong places in some aspects, especially for a Predator movie, a big name like that. CGI just wasn't up to par. And, I don't know, the whole thing just kind of went flat. The pacing was off. Like, it starts in a way that makes you expect a lot more, especially when everyone around you is hyping it up as the greatest Predator movie since Predator 2, I guess. I don't know. It's just... Maybe we went into it with too high expectations.
No, listen. I'll stop you real quick. We can look at the Predator thing like this. For 1 and 2, they're going to take it every time. Now, arguably, I think you could take all the rest of them, Aliens, Predator, Requiem, all of them, even this new one, Prey, there could be 3 through the rest. It doesn't matter. That's the way I felt with it, man. It could be 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter. You're not wrong with it, but continue. I digress. Yes.
I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, it was underwhelming in the end. I mean, the best part of the movie was about halfway through when we all just started making fun of it, almost MST3000 style. It was pretty fun. But other than that, I don't know. I'd probably give it 5, 5.5, and I tend to score generously.
All right, so we got a 4.5, 5.5. Colonel, how would you rate Prey?
First of all, Zag, I know he compares on 2 different scales, but the fact that this dude loves so many of these Friday the 13th fan films, but is shitting on this, I question his judgment. Okay?
In his defense,
2 different scales.
Well, also, and in his defense, he was exorbitantly high all weekend. So,
well, that's how it usually is when we go on. Well, I imagine that's how he is every day.
Not to this. I don't think to this level. I think there was a little boost that he got because there were very few moments that he was not either smoking on a juice or smoking on a joint. Like, unless we were inside somewhere, like, that did not allow it. Mm-hmm. I'm not kidding. The whole weekend. His eyes lit up Thursday night when the bar said, "Oh, yeah, you can vape in here, whatever you want." It was just like, my entire show on Thursday night, they're just... And I'm getting the whiffs of this smoke, so... Anyway, continue. My bad.
Okay. Well, that probably didn't help me either, because he's probably thinking way too much. Is it a simple story? Yes. Is it cookie cutter? Yes. Does the CGI suck? Yes. Is there some acting? Yes. That is good, and it's bad. We've already gone on way longer about Prey than I ever thought we would. But I'm still, even as much as I seem to be the one who likes it the most, at the end of the day, I still only give it a 6 out of 10, because it's a fun movie. Don't expect it to be like Predator. That seems to be the issue. Certain people on this show that should not be named because they aren't here. I will have a talk with him eventually about this in private.
All right.
I just think it's a little too harsh.
Hey, I know you're trying to make a point, but don't hit your table whenever you do because you're shaking your microphone around.
Okay, Mr. Freeze. All right. I ain't the one that shut down Gotham for a day.
I'm just saying. Just saying, motherfucker. Motherfucker. All right. Well, Charles says, Prey, 5 out of 10. Story was simple, and that is good, but it needed more. Music was off, and instead of a movie, maybe a miniseries. The blood and viciousness worked well, so it's watchable, but 1 and 2 are still better. He also adds, and lastly, I have one thing to say. Can we please stop with the fucking wire jumping and flying shit in action scenes in modern movies? It looks so fucking dumb. Stop it, please. I can definitely get on board with that. The Matrix era action sequences and the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon shit, I'm over that. Let's just bring it back down to
it's been 25 years almost. Like, let it go.
Yeah. Let's bring it back. Orlando says, bam, you hit it on the nail, Colonel. 8 out of 10 for me because the dog also stole the show. Everyone loves the dog in the movie. Unfortunately, Orlando, if you watch They Them, which is the next movie we're getting ready to look at,
Don't turn us off, but mute it.
yeah, it gets dark. My thoughts on Prey, score-wise, man, middle of the road. After the first watch, I was going to give it even lower, but upon reflection, I've lifted it a little bit, but 5 for me, just straight down the middle. I can't say it's terrible, and I can't say it's great. So, but it's right in that. It's worth watching. How about that? 5 is worth watching. I'll leave it at that. But that's our wrap up of Prey. And now, on Peacock, the new film featuring Kevin Bacon, They Them, which was a group of teenagers at an LGBTQ conversion camp endures unsettling psychological techniques while being stalked by a mysterious masked killer. Also starring Theo Germain as Jordan, Carrie Preston as Cora, and Anna Chlumsky as Molly. Colonel, what were your initial thoughts on They Them?
Okay, this is one of the ones I mentioned. Like, hey, I'm really looking forward to this. I love the idea of the concept. Granted, I'll be the first to admit, it's no secret, I am not the key demographic for this movie. But I am a very open-minded person. I enjoy learning, learning from others' perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really looking forward to this. Like, okay, this is a really good concept. Little did I know until I started it. Once I saw the Blumhouse thing start scrolling, I was like, "Fuck!" Like, this literally came out of my mouth. I was like, "Fuck!"
We did the same thing. We just looked at each other and was like, "God damn it! We didn't know this was Blumhouse."
So I was already kind of worried right out the fucking gate. Like, okay, but yeah, it's Kevin fucking Bacon in it. It can't be too bad. He's not Nick Cage. It's not like he's trying to get money for back taxes, all right, and pay his shit off. He still picks roles he wants to play in. So I'm watching this movie. There's some dark stuff to it. Some stuff I honestly have never seen in a movie before. It wasn't really graphic. I've seen it before, but not maybe to that extent. It still wasn't very graphic.
Mm-hmm.
Had its funny moments, I guess. I loved one character in particular. I thought he was awesome, and it's not because of his acting. I just love the character.
Just his over exuberance.
Yes.
I think you're talking about Toby.
I believe so. The guy who wanted to be a Broadway actor. That was my dude.
Yep.
Right from the start, I'm like, I like this guy. Because at first I thought it was Lil Nas X, so I got a better look at it. I'm like, no, that's not. But man, by the time it wrapped up, I was like, they dropped the ball on something that could have been so important for that community.
Mm-hmm.
They really dropped the ball. Like, I was like, this could be their slasher that they own, and they just, like we always say, they fucked it up.
Curious to hear a little more about that here in the upcoming segments. Well, we got to go back to the pre-recorded comments from FaZe and Ziggy. Let's see what he says about
they/them, which we initially thought was they/them. I think that makes it a little more clever calling it they/them because it is a horror movie. Even though I went out of it thinking more action thriller, but it's got horror elements, it's got gore, it's got blood, it's got killing. But overall, I just felt the movie had great build-up. The first 20, 30 minutes, I'm like, all right, they're setting up something really good here, but just didn't. Just very underwhelming in the end. I don't know. The characters started off really well. Well, pretty well, some of them. And they progressed. Some of them progressed well. Some of them had good arcs. Some of them did nothing. Some of them literally did nothing. And just, yeah, man, I was expecting so much more and kind of just, I don't know, kind of underwhelmed. How about you?
Wow. Kevin Bacon, anytime you've seen a movie with Kevin Bacon in it, and you're hearing, hey, it's a horror film, it's a slasher. great. I'm all for it. You know, I like the sinister Kevin Bacon characters. You know, go through like the River one he was in, fucking Hollow Man. Those are some strong evil characters. So here he comes out, and it's a conversion camp. Like a lot of parents, like our kids are confused sexuality wise. Mm-hmm. Who am I? This camp is not your traditional turn you with the beatings and God condemning you. It's a different approach and more therapy and stuff like that. So there's your setup, and they're going to help him. And first thing he says is, I can't make you straight, and I don't want to. You know, he comes off as pretty genuine. But they set it up now as we've got this conversion thing going on. There's going to be sessions with the therapists, and it's great up to this point because you don't see where they're going with it. I'm questioning everything, and there's several paths they could take with it. As the story progresses, the more sinister parts are revealed, and then it gets in its own way and starts tripping over itself in the worst possible way. And the trap of rushing after your big giant setup that really wasn't required when you get to the end of this tale. You have all these your revenge, I guess, scenes all within a 3-minute span, and it's done.
Yeah.
And then you find out why you have the Scooby-Doo ending, the traditional Scooby-Doo ending, and it's very unsatisfying. Honestly, this really could have been something, and it really wasn't in the end. I mean, there's a lot going on here, and we can get into who made it and who they are, they, them, /them are, and but it could have been a lot better. I mean, we were coming up with premises here on the couch watching this that honestly were more intriguing than what we saw here.
All right. Colonel, would you agree with any of what they said?
Yeah, I agree with them a hell of a lot more than I did on Prey, I tell you that.
All right. My initial thoughts were this had an interesting premise. It had a chance to do something for the LGBTQ plus community, and kind of like took the ball to the 5-yard line, and then like started doing your dance a little too early, and just did not go all the way.
It's almost like it pulled Deshaun Jackson where he threw the ball back right before he crossed the goal line.
Right.
To celebrate.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I did hear one of the promos for They/Them pronounce it like that. It is called They/Them, not just They Them. So it was a promo on Peacock. So that's what I'm trying to call it. Although for the last 6 months that we've heard about this movie, I thought it was They Them, but I guess it's not.
I like They Them better.
I do too, although there's a little kitschiness that I like about They/Them because it is a slasher, but whatever. All right. Let me hit a couple comments here. Actually, Ziggy's in the comments. Tarek says, sounds like a lot of complexity that's just obfuscating a concept that would have worked on its own. Lorena says, damn, too bad about They/Them. I had high hopes for that one. I'll probably still watch it, though. Yeah, absolutely, still watch it. It's worth a watch, I would say. Tarek also says, we're watching Prey tomorrow night, and I missed the review. I'll have to watch this back later. Yeah, we didn't really spoil anything, so no big deal. And Kiara. Yeah, and Kiara's here. What's up, Kiara? Sorry I'm late. You're not late. As long as you join us, you're right on time, baby. You're right on time. We got to talk about, I love Kevin Bacon. I do. I have loved almost every role he's ever been in, and I'm always excited to see Kevin Bacon, especially in a horror movie role. And they had a couple of throwbacks to Friday the 13th. There's a moment that kind of Oh, well, one of the characters just flat out, it mentions Jason Voorhees. I mean, that's obvious. You know, the fact that it's at a camp was cool. There was a twist to this camp. But I thought Kevin Bacon was just fascinating. And one of the things I've always liked about him is he can ride this line where he is just right on the edge of being dangerous. And you don't know where that danger is going to come from with him sometimes. Is it going to be psychological? Is it going to be physical? You don't really know. And this one really, really worked with his character, I thought. Colonel?
No,
What
dude,
do you think of Kevin's
I agree with you
performance?
completely. Kevin Bacon was one of the few highlights of this film for me. Like you said, he walked that line fucking perfectly. Now, I'll be honest, the beginning of the film that Mr. Nice Guy Shit Zag was talking about, again, I could fill out the plot for these things. It's cookie cutter. I knew he wasn't going to be a good guy. And that's just me being sarcastic because I will not let that go until next Monday. But yeah, I mean, obviously I knew he was going to be up and do fucking good. It's just, but he was still believable. Even if I knew he was going to flip, I still was like, you know what? He might be an all right guy. But man, that shooting range scene.
Man.
Kevin Bacon, fucking Bacon. Kevin Bacon, that motherfucker, man.
Oh, Kevin Bacon,
the
the
range
shit out
of
of that scene.
emotions was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a very powerful scene. And I think that was the first signal, or the first major signal, that, okay, yeah, we're dealing with a fucked up individual right now, so I don't know where the rest of this movie is going. Man, that's one of the things I like about Kevin Bacon. There was even, and this wasn't Kevin doing it, but there was even a little nod to Footloose. I don't know if you noticed the guy that, during the dance number, yes, there's a dance number, we're going to talk about that here in a minute, but during the dance number, the guy that slides on his knees right to the camera, I was just like, there's Footloose right there. They had to throw something about that in there.
Never seen Footloose, so and I have no desire to see it. Point of opportunities. I don't do musicals, man. I don't. It's not him dancing in the fucking barn.
It's an 80s classic, though, man. You got to watch it sometime. All right, let's see what Ziggy and FaZe had to say about Kevin Bacon in They/Them.
He's good once again. He's dark, but he almost has this line through him where he feels he is doing the right thing with what he's doing. He believes in it by any means necessary. So that is crazy in itself, and it's a cool layer to his character. So yeah, I dug Kevin Bacon in this, man.
I mean, yeah, Kevin Bacon, he's a good, solid actor. I mean, at this point, you're probably going to expect quality from him. I mean, he did a good job in this movie. He played his role, and he played it well. Might not have been the best written role in some parts, but he still played it well. He still did what Kevin Bacon does and played it well. And he was scary when he needed to be scary. He was genuine when he needed to be, genuine. I believed his character. He did good. And the other characters, too. There were other characters that were well believable. Some of them maybe less so. But, I don't know.
I just thought Kevin Bacon, it was like, was he turning the dial up on his restraint of his crazy side, or was he just...
Was it
more just... I mean, as the character, how did you take it? What was he masking? Was it his kind of righteous, get it done side, or was he actually trying to help? And that side is so he's the restraint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is it? That's what I mean. It's a good layer.
It is a good layer. It's hard to say with the ending that we got, but I mean...
Right.
Yeah, really. I mean, just the ending kind of destroyed so much. It just makes it hard to say more about his character. But I mean, it was quality acting. I'll give him that.
It's Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Like he delivered. I don't have any problem with what he did. Another material he had, that's another story.
All right. What did you think about that moment?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I don't even know what moment they were talking about anymore. So I'll be honest, I got so fixated in the fucking Zag. It just... they're just staring. Motherfuckers thinking about Raisin Bran. I couldn't help... I'm sorry. After you just told me that, I'm like, okay, this makes sense. He is high as a fucking kite.
You're not gonna fucking believe this. I don't think he ever opened the Raisin Bran while he was here.
Serious?
Yeah, I don't
get the sweet.
I don't think he did. I don't think he did.
Well,
Yeah.
Bring it with you next month.
Oh, he packed it and took it with him. So.
All right. So what part am I supposed to be talking about again? I'm sorry. I know that's awful, but
no, the fact that was Kevin Bacon turning up the intensity on keeping himself kind of calm, or was he turning up the intensity on his intensity?
I think he definitely turned up the intensity on his intensity.
Yeah.
It just because it's calm. Like I said, it's calm. It's fucking calm. And it's you saw this little look in his face during the musical number when he's just standing there watching them. Because they're doing the opposite of what he wants them to do. They're bonding. They're lifting each other up. He's like, and then that's like when he snapped. All right, fuck this. We got to step this up.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like to me too, because they needed something to bring the intensity of the movie in general up, and I think they did. So, I want to hit a couple comments here, especially this one. Patricia says, "I liked Kevin Bacon in The Following. I loved The Following. I'm so pissed off it only got 2 seasons. That was so good."
Dude, the first one was so good. The second one, I was kind of.
Yeah, the second one was lesser, but that first season is so damn good, and that premise could have gone on for years, man, years. Tarek says, "Yeah, I'll watch Kevin Bacon in anything. It's not that he's got some awesome method acting level of range. It's just how he chews up his dialogue like he loves every single page of the script." Yeah, I can see that. And Tarek also says, yeah, a knee slide is a definite nod to Footloose, and that's good. I agree. Shori Mori is here. Was this pre-recorded? Phase should be on a plane right now. That's right. The Phase and Zigzag parts are pre-recorded. But, yeah, that was the only way we could get them involved in this, because, like you said, they're on planes right now. Tarek also says, Kevin Bacon was just turning his Kevin Bacon up to 11, which I appreciate when that happens. All right, last comment I want to hit is this one on this round. Orlando says, "Have not seen it, but I like that they/them is about LGBTQ plus youth. But regardless of sexuality, a movie has to have a beginning, middle, and end. No pun intended." So that is part of what this movie is kind of lacking, in my opinion. But I want to talk about the first part of what he brings up first. Did you, Colonel, appreciate the LGBTQ plus examples and characterizations of this group? Because we had I may use a couple of dated terms here, but I'm going to try not to be offensive, but we had the glamorous, begrudging lesbian. We had the full out lesbian. We had the gay guy that was trying to not be gay. We had, a couple of, we had one trans person. We had two trans people. One very flamboyant, almost queen kind of character. Hopefully I'm getting most of these as pretty close at least. But did those characterizations do justice to the LGBTQ plus community? Because I think most of them were kind of written too stereotypical, in my opinion. Now, does that fit some? Yes. Colonel.
So that's a loaded question, because like I said, I am an outsider to that community. But I know people in that community who act a lot like these characters did. So I don't think it hurt the characters that bad, because while stereotyping, yes, I can't argue with you about that. They were some stereotypes, but unfortunately to every stereotype there's a little bit of truth. So for me, if they felt believable, and what I liked, I'm not going to use the term you did, the more out male You know,
Okay.
had no shame in his fucking game. That was my fucking dude because he was proud of who he was and he didn't fucking hide it. You
Toby.
know? Toby. Like, that was my fucking guy. I was rooting for him from the beginning. They felt believable. I didn't feel like I was watching a stereotype, like we'll go back to the 80s, like 16 Candles, you know, that foreign exchange student. You know, that's a hurtful stereotype. I don't think these work.
Okay. Orlando has a comment here also. He says you're doing fine with the terminology and descriptions. Thank you. Orlando, when you watch this, please either private message or maybe in the members chat answer this question, because I'm curious what the gay community thinks of these characterizations. And once I get to actually get out of my house and see my friends here in Stillwater, I'm going to ask them about this, because I thought the stereotypes overrode a lot of the characterizations, and I was kind of wondering about that with this movie.
See, I can see where you're saying that, but what saves it for me is, like, we'll go back to the music number, which to me, I'm sorry, it's funny that it's in there. I probably shouldn't laugh, but I did a little bit.
That's part of my argument in my favor about this movie.
I get that, but at the same time, when I was watching this, it's like, okay, they're at a place that's trying to break them down.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to fucking break these people down and change them any way they can. To me, that scene was as silly as it was, and maybe as stereotypical as it was like a team building exercise for these campers. Now, I would like to hear a little bit more from the ones, like Faye said, that were just fucking there. Because even after I watched it, I was like, I wish I knew about these other fucking people that were there the entire time that had 0 words of fucking dialogue. That drove me nuts.
Yeah. I mean, again, for lack of a better word, the big girl. There was this big girl in every scene that said no dialogue, no nothing. The only thing I saw her do that was kind of like adding to the scene was after, as the camera is panning out of that musical number, she's jumping up and down, dancing on the bed.
Yeah.
And then she just kind of disappears. Like it's gone. So, anyway.
But like I was saying, the reason why I think I can overlook all that is that, like I said, this was a bonding experience. They would not let these people break them down. I mean, even we were first introduced to the characters. It was pretty much like an AA meeting. You know, what's on, and we got to the guy that wants to be straight. I just want to be like everybody else. And you see in the beginning of the number, he's like, then he starts Kevin Bacon that shit. Like I said, it was nice. It was a nice scene to see them come together like that. For me,
I thought it was a little over the top and was completely out of place in this film, but I can see how you think, it's a team building exercise. I get that a lot more than I do some of this, but I thought some of the writing did the characters a little bit of injustice. It may have helped to have, some consulting with some of this community to help with the writing, or maybe they did and it just fell through the cracks because it felt forced. What was there? It felt really forced. Now, if representation is representation, and as long as minority communities are getting that representation, if that's what's important, then kudos, because this movie is covered with it. But if you want proper, meaningful representation, there's only maybe 1-2 examples that carry through the whole movie with this. That's my thought. Let me see, and Ziggy actually makes a decent point on this, if I remember correctly. So let's see what Ziggy and FaZe have to say about this. And FaZe makes a good point about this too. So
he did a good job playing this super buoyant, fun, just drama queen, the kind of guy that you're gonna meet at like a drag bar or something, that's just super fun to be around. Alexandra, I really liked her too. She went through an actual arc that kind of she went through a character arc which should have then had a certain payoff, but then nothing happened. So Again, that's just up to the bad ending and what happened there. And just there's so much good setup that led to nothing, and the characters were a big I guess tool in that because the characters ran the whole movie. It wasn't the setting or anything else or something coming down out of them. It was these characters driving the plot, and they did an okay job of doing that until they didn't.
The entire cast, it was crafted. Your complete rainbow of stereotypes of the gay trans community. You got all the stereotypes. I mean, everyone is represented. Every color, every shape, it's all in there with purpose, and they do it right. And they don't. No one gets slammed or anything. So it's not like that. It's about them. They found a way to get all these type of people into a slasher instead of just having your token gay. It flips the script. They crafted a cast. It's built of all these types of people instead of having your token gay or token butch over there in the corner, in there just as a throwaway character. It's not like that. This is good this way. It totally flips it. And it's decent. They do their parts well. They're entertaining. They are. And they play it well. And there are twists. Little tiny twists start happening and then a couple of big ones.
Yeah.
But it's still, man, the setup is so good for just kind of you settled for that?
Yeah.
Really? And that's disappointing, man. But I mean, the cast is good. They are good.
Yeah.
I dug the guy who. I started speculating on where this movie might have been going based on what they were saying because they get a little interview at the beginning, and I was like, okay, seems all the parents either sent them there or made deals to have them go there just to try it out and see, just go see what they got to say. But then, I felt like the parents were all kind of behind getting there, so it almost felt like this is going to be some kind of gay concentration camp or something. They were sending their broken kids, to get taken care of so they didn't have to deal with them anymore.
Right.
It's nothing like that. And that would have been a lot more sinister and dark than what they do here.
Sure.
And but it's still... You had potential to do so much more cool things with this, and they just kind of went with the low-hanging fruit. It's terrible, man. Just the easy pickings.
Yeah. One thing I would like to add on to that. I mean, I don't know. I work with a lot of trans people, bi, gender, gay, lesbian, pretty much all over the LGBTQ plus spectrum. Not all over, but bits and pieces here and there. I'm familiar with those type of people, and the writing and the way these characters were written was off. It wasn't believable. I did not believe the trans person was written as a trans person. These actors, on the other hand, did a really good job in working to portray what they were supposed to portray and act how they were supposed to act. They did a good job. The actors did a good job. The writers, it did not seem like there was any LGBTQ plus representation in the writing room. It didn't feel that way in the way the lines were written, the way some scenes were choreographed. It was really, really off. But the actors worked really hard to help. They helped a lot in that aspect.
Wasn't their fault. They weren't
not their fault at all. It's all the writers.
Yeah. And that's kind of my point, is that it was more of the writing of the material than it was the actors themselves portraying it.
Well, but my question is, and I get that, this isn't an argument towards it, but do we know that there were zero, are we really going to say this is written by heterosexual males? Because I highly doubt it. To me, there could have been some. I don't know, but this had to have been written by someone in the LGBTQ plus community.
The only credited writer was John Logan, whose first film script that he sold was Any Given Sunday. So I don't know his orientation or background really. Besides
really
that,
not important. I'm just saying. I'm sure there was someone there in that community. That'd be like me making a movie from that community. I don't know their culture.
Right.
And I think Denzel Washington said it best when there's about a movie he made. He was like, "Well, I can make. It's about culture. It's like Martin Scorsese make my movie, and I can make a mobster movie. I don't know the culture. He don't know our culture, so it's not going to translate."
Yeah.
They had to have somebody there.
Rachel, yes. How do you see they, them? It is on Peacock. It is the premium only, though, like Tarek said right below there. Jay says, there's a new guy. I'm uncomfortable. I was laughing when that came up. That's our buddy FaZe. He was with us this weekend at a con and helped us out a little bit. So he's also one of our final girls and guys. And we've been meaning to get him on a show forever. This was kind of the only way we could do it because he normally works Mondays. So, Tarek also says, I think they probably toyed with stereotypes and it would have been on purpose. Like you guys said, it is a slasher. Maybe they were towing the line between repping the cultures and pairing them again, probably on purpose. Maybe, but I don't know. I feel like they could have done this a little better in the writing of it. I think they could have done it a little better. That's just me.
Can't argue with you on that.
I want to hit one more clip from FaZe and Ziggy about this topic, and this is the one I think where some decent points were made.
I feel like it misrepresented them in some aspects. Like for the non-LGBTQ plus audience, it gives off kind of it's too exaggerated in some aspects. Like there was one particular scene where the boys are like putting makeup on their faces and they're really like smiling at each other. Like it's not like, yeah, so some guys like to put makeup on, but it's not as, I guess they made the scene really fruity, and it's not like that.
Right.
It's not like that. It's just they made it too like straight people were trying to write a movie with a bunch of gay people, but they should have had maybe some representation writing it to help make it feel more real. I don't know, Ziggy?
Well, hold on. You mean the perfect encapsulation of the gay community? Is it just breaking into song out of the blue? And
I forgot about that.
A full musical number.
I forgot about
that's
that.
That's not the one.
They all broke out into song too. That was kind of a lot too. Yeah, that was. I don't know about that one either. Yeah, Ziggy?
I guess I'm a little too old to appreciate the High School Musical even dropped into a slasher like this or a thriller like this. But his question was, do I think they dumbed it down for, guys like me, let's say, and, just that aren't really around that kind of life that much. And maybe, because I don't feel like I missed anything. I was on in sync with everybody and what they were doing and what their motivations were. So maybe he's right about that. I think they'll be happy and proud that, they got a film made that's based about their lifestyles in a real environment that's, it's been troped a million times, like a regular vein of mainstream style horror with all of their type of people involved like that. I think that's cool, and I think they will too. That's that part of it, It's a win. It's a victory.
Yeah, it's another movie with representation, it's another one on the list for, movies with representation, and that's always a good thing for the community. There are parts that I feel like will absolutely offend, and parts that I feel like represented the community really well. It went back and forth. I can't give a straight answer on that. It's gonna piss some people off. It's gonna not in some ways. I mean, and people have different levels of sensitivity to that too, and it's hard to try to. You can't make a movie like that and not piss some people off. That is a fact. But it could have been handled differently in some parts, like kind of big time.
All right. So, anything to add on that before we move on to rating this one?
I mean, like I said, I see their points, especially FaZe, because like I said, he's younger than us. Okay, he's been around. This is more a norm for him growing up than it was for, say, us. I mean, I don't know about you. I just remember as a kid, if someone called you gay on the playground, those were just fighting words when I was a kid. Wrong, yes, but that's the way it was.
Right.
Now it's more represented. It's more open. I see what they're saying. I just think maybe I should probably say this for the review. You have to dumb it down like Zach said, that was the perfect way to dumb it down for guys like us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But at the same time, I don't think it was... I've been taking the setting into consideration when I was like, oh, this doesn't seem real, this doesn't seem real. But if you're stuck at a camp, maybe... Again, I see what he's saying about putting on makeup and goes, oh... It probably isn't accurate, but at the same time, that setting, you're stuck there with these people. You know, you're going to partake in these activities that you might not normally partake in.
And you're going to make the best of the situation.
Yes.
Because nobody wants to be there, so...
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, where I'm torn. I'm like, well, I get their points. I'm not going to say they're wrong, and they're probably right. But for the purposes of this movie, I think it made sense in the setting in it. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Let me hit a couple comments real quick. Kiara says, since I haven't seen it yet, I think they should have maybe cast LGBTQ plus actors to help portray the character roles better after hearing your opinion. I think they did, actually. I think most of the actors they chose were kind of the respective trait, or had the respective traits of the characters they were portraying. I believe. Now, I'm not positive about that, but I believe so. And if they weren't, then even bigger kudos, because that was impressive, you know. But I just think the script and some of the dialogue was, as we talked about, dumbed down a little bit for a more open or a more wider audience, rather than just being pigeonholed for the LGBTQ plus community. Okay. Tarek says, that makes a lot of sense. Phase implying glamorized moments that should be mundane. We don't need to be amazed that guys are putting on makeup. Right. Lorena says, Phase grew up around gay trans people, was always no big deal for my kids. Very nice. Thank you, Lorena, for being that way. Tarek says, both my kids, 17 or 19, are LGBTQ, and now I want to hear what they think. Definitely going to ask them to watch it. Please, and if you don't mind, share it with us, because I'm very curious. It's just, this is part of that culture that interests me. How is it? Is all the representation that they are getting in film, music, TV, is it all positive? Some of this, I think, it still has a positive quality to it, but I'm curious to see if anybody from that community agrees that I think some of this was too stereotypically written. Please help me out with this. And I will add one more thing on that. I'm learning, along with Colonel and along with Ziggy, everything that is changing about people and culture and the world in general. So, Orlando, earlier, I appreciate you not helping me, but agreeing with the terminology I was using. I know there's very specific terminology for a lot of this. Honestly, I don't know it. I'm learning. I'm trying to learn it and get better with that. So, we're getting there. One more here, I think. Orlando says, when I see it, I will go ahead and let you know my opinion of whether it's stereotype or whether the identities were spot on. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Final thoughts and ratings. Do you want to go to the clip, or do you want to start?
Let's go to the clip.
Let's go to the videotape. Ziggy, Phase, take it away.
I mean, like I said, it had great build-up, and the ending just sucked. So, I mean, if I could rate, like, the first, like, just the build-up alone, maybe, like, an 8 out of 10, honestly, because I thought it was leading to something very, very interesting. There were a lot of questions being asked, a lot of good questions they were making the audience ask. Some of those questions they answered were pretty good, like, midway through, some of the answers were really good. But once you get to the ending, man, that is a, like, 0.5 out of 10 ending. Like, my God. So, I guess that would average... I don't want to give this thing a bad score, because there were aspects of it that were quite good. It's just me. I take endings. I like a good ending. That's my favorite part of any film, book, anything. Anything that has a story, the ending is my favorite part. If you got a banger ending, I'm gonna like it. That sucked. So my final thoughts are like I want to score it higher than Prey, so I'll give it a 6. I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
I really liked when the characters were bonding, because that was when you could see they were actually letting their guards down and revealing, which I felt this feels the most real about this whole movie, is living with something that you can't daily talk about or cope with because you got to put the fucking mask on. So that worked a lot for me, and this is all during the build-up. And so I was really thinking this was onto something, and then they just fucking lose their way or ran out of money or time and just got to rush this thing. And it's, oh, no, look at it, here we go there, let's go over here, all right, come on over here we go, this, and come out the door.
Crazy.
And it's, so it's over, just like that, and you're just like, it's like, what a waste of potential, man. But I mean, it is not the worst fucking movie, and it's great seeing Kevin Bacon doing something a little sinister again. Some good actors in this, man. I think we've got some careers probably going to come out of this and continue. Having said all that, I'm here to review my experience watching a horror movie, which I was, again, I've said it already, disappointed with, and I'm going to go right down the middle with it, a 5, with they/them.
All right, so a 5 from Ziggy, and what was Faye's score, if you remember? 6, 5, and a 6. All right, Colonel, what give you they/them?
I'm in full agreement with everybody here. The first 45 minutes of this movie, great build-up. Like I said, the team building is awesome. But I just really feel after the rifle scene, it drops off fucking fast. And you got stuff that doesn't make sense. It pretty much turned into a fucking Roman orgy there for a while before shit hit the fan. I just didn't fit the tone for me. Like, I get it, but it's just, as a slasher, you gotta have it. I just didn't think it was necessary in this film at all. I did feel like it cheapened it a little bit.
It was completely out of place, I agree.
Yeah, it was like, that's what took me out. I was like, fucking for real. But yeah, it's such a good job building up these characters for it to go to shit so quick. Like they said, the ending is fucking awful. And earlier when I said this would have been a great film for the LGBTQ plus community, I really thought it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where they drop stereotypes and all. Yes, but in this setting, they made sense. Because, yeah, you know, you're trying to make it for mass audiences. And yes, you have to dumb it down for us older folks. There's so much promise, man. So much fucking promise. The concept is great. I wish I could spoil this ending, but I'm not.
No.
But it was fucking dumb. Like Phase. You want a good ending. You want to be like, you know, you want to feel good, or this ending was just, seriously? That ruined it for me. Man, I'm going to give it a 5. There's so much promise to this fucking movie. And the first half is so fucking good. Just,
You said it all. Kevin Bacon was great. I love Kevin Bacon. The first 50 to 65% of the movie was great. That third act completely lets you down. The characterizations were questionable to me, but I could be fucking wrong on that. Somebody might tell me, no, that's exactly how they all act. But that's not how any that I know personally act, unless they are being, sarcastically stereotypical to fuck with somebody. That's when I will see a lot of that kind of behavior. But I did like this better than Prey, so I'm giving it a 6. I'll leave it at that. So, little bit more watchable. Yeah, a little bit more watchable than Prey. So there you are, folks. That is They/Them. It's available on Peacock right now. And let me hit. Jesus, you guys really came in strong with the comments. Let me hit a couple of these real quick. Kiara says, however, it sounds like there was no bi representation in this movie, but I definitely will still watch it. I don't think there was any explicitly bi representation.
You know, it might have been the girl with no fucking lines.
There she was.
I'm not trying to make a joke, but there were plenty of other characters they shined zero light on. And such a missed opportunity there. Like you said, for the bi representation. Because I don't think there was.
I don't think there was either now that I think about it. Carrie says, I'm still learning, and I think we will always be on a learning curve. Crank, I agree. Things are just too fluid right now. And that's, fuck, I don't care. That's fine with me, you know. Be you. My main thing is be happy, folks. Make yourself happy. Tarek says, my wife heard Crank attempting to be not offensive, and she was like, even if he was offensive, which he wasn't, the attempt was too adorable to be mad at. Okay. I'll take that as a compliment. I'm not sure I like being called adorable at all, but alright, thank you. That's funny. Patricia says, after watching the new season of The Umbrella Academy, they did a great job of introducing Elliot Page and his character, Victor. They welcomed him as he was. Excellent. I've not seen any of The Umbrella Academy, but I will probably check it out. Oh, Dave's here, just tuned in. What's up? Welcome, Dave. You came in. You probably came into the deep end of the pool on this conversation a little bit, but hopefully you did all right. What we need, Tarek says, what we need is a Being John Malkovich type film, but it's Being Kevin Bacon and he's a serial killer. There's a lot about that concept I really like right there, sir. Oh, and Joseph's here. He has a comment about, I remember seeing the movie Boy a couple of years back. I loved the movie up until the last 10 minutes of the reveal. The ending was so god-awful there was no way I could go back and ever watch that movie again. A horrible ending will really ruin a good movie. Sadly, it sounds like They/Them kind of did the same, and the same thing happened. Possibly. It's not a great ending, but
no.
Anyway. Looks like we got a few minutes left to tinker with here, Colonel, so you ready for this?
I'm ready. Getting tired, but I'm ready.
All right, let me crack my neck a little bit here. So, the reason that Ziggy and FaZe were at my house this weekend in front of my lovely set, pre-recording some pieces for tonight's show, was we just got finished attending the OKC Horror Con this weekend. And it's a long clip, but honestly, I think I'm just going to let Ziggy kind of tell the story. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Yeah, so we're back from OKC Horror Con, and what a difference a year makes. Last year, we were the toast of the ball, man. We were in there handling everything. We ran through with the fans. We cut bits, included everybody we could. We talked to all the vendors and all the celebs. We didn't really have panels too much at this last year, but we had a couple of movie screenings with Daniel Harris, with Bill Moseley, and those went fucking amazing. And I would say, shit, I'm in debt to the organizers at OKC Horror Con for allowing us to do that. But the thing is, Crank's been here from day one with these guys, building this. From a 4-hour con in an outdoor airplane hangar in 100-degree heat. We were there, covering that, building this. Followed up the second year a little bit bigger. We were there again. Took care of it everything they needed, we did. Crank even did some work for their haunt. Got them going. It's a great relationship, man. We're not asking for anything from these guys. We are appreciating being involved and handling the things that their guys don't really know how to do. No problem. That's why we're here. We're helping making this fucking thing great and grow. Things were in place for the 2022 Oklahoma City Horror Con once again this year. August 6th and 7th. We're making plans. We're in. We already took it. We have an exit meeting about a month after last year's. This is what we would like to see. Everything was agreed to. And we're not asking for money. This is just things to help us facilitate, things to help make the experience for the con goers even better. And everything was cool. We even came up with some sweet shit, some of the stuff you guys even know about, like our game show live in a studio audience. How fucking sick would that have been? I just think that game show in a live studio realm, and some nice prizes thrown in from around the con, maybe a free entry to next year. It was all in there, man. And we were ready to blow the doors off this thing once again. That is until a few months ago. Contact broke off with everybody involved at OKC. And I know why now. Of course we know why now. But we're asking, because we were reaching out just saying, listen, we've got ideas like the game show. We wanted to say, listen, is there a space where we can do this kind of separate off the beaten path where we can, because this is why. And nothing. We were getting nothing back. No correspondence whatsoever. Crank tries to reach out and book the same guy we had last year on the show. And he just, 3 words, I'm too busy, or I'm out of town. And so I started reaching too, just like same things, like it's a couple more things. We're a few weeks away, just like to bounce a couple of things off you before we get into town. We got some prep to do before we get there. Nothing. So we started to suspect that maybe DCS wasn't going to be in charge of the same things we were last year. That's fine. It's your con. It's your con, man. You can do what you want. However, when there's a couple of guys making plans, spending money on plane tickets, taking time off work, writing to cover your panels, questions. We weren't going to go in there cold, introduce the fucking guest, and hand the mic to the fucking audience. That ain't how we roll. We had some shit thought out. We were going to keep shit facilitated for it. And we were ready. We were fucking ready to do this year. Upon arrival, everything we thought and suspected, we thought the worst case scenarios, and that's what we got. We thought, we were driving in going, I will not be surprised if these guys don't acknowledge us at all when we're walking through here. Pretty fucking close to what happened. Pretty goddamn close. Pretty fucking close, man. Never got a word from any of the people we dealt with last year. They were right there in our face. They were right there. But always something would come up, like, as soon as we got it within range where they noticed us, and it was always a looking through you kind of thing, like, oh, here they come. They weren't looking at us. They were looking down at their phones and stuff. But it'd be like this. We'd get close. It'd be like, oh, yeah, man, hey, we got to go get that thing over there, bring these people in and bring them back. And we got to go, yep, we got to go, yeah, oh, yeah, over there. Yeah, those guys, over there, those guys. Yep, those guys. Yep. Oh, they're still there. Wait, those guys there. Yep, wait. And then, so we got a lot of that. We got one fucking asshole came up. We're coming down the escalator, man. And he sees us, picks up his phone out of his pocket, gives us the Hollywood, and then he's not even good enough to have a conversation channeled in there, chambered up, He's just going, yeah, we saw you, buddy. That was weak. That was weak, man. Weak. You're not men. You're cowards. And it's your fucking con. It's fine. You can do what you want. But integrity goes a long way, man. We wish you luck. We hope it keeps building because the people of Oklahoma deserve something like this. I just wish you guys had a little more intestinal fortitude and balls. Just speak your fucking mind. You don't want us there? Great. You don't want us to do your stuff and work for you? Fine. Tell a motherfucker so we can put our efforts into somebody who does want us there. That's it. God bless you guys. Thanks for the opportunity last year, but fuck you for this year, and I'm out.
So Ziggy just did the walk off on that one.
He sure as hell did.
Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty. I'm not playing, man. That was pretty much our experience up there this year, and it was hurtful, you know, especially after spending the last 3 years, blood, sweat, and tears, just supporting and pouring into this, and you know, going above and beyond, like everything we tried to do for this, and whatever though. But I can't necessarily hate on them for. They find another podcast that, you know, sweet talks them into letting them do the interviews and letting them do the panels. But then we go, literally, the first panel is Naomi Grossman, and the first question the moderator asks is, so was it a hard decision to have to shave your head for the role of for American Horror Story? And she was like, no, it was a fucking role. I took it immediately. Yeah, no. So that was how bad this was. And here's the thing, guys. We were going to record some of these panels, but there was one speaker for the whole panel. Even the people that were sitting in the panel room, and there were only 40 seats for the panel room. Keep that in mind. The people sitting down couldn't even hear everything that was being said. They had one speaker, one microphone. And I don't know if you guys know this. I'm pretty sure you do. I run a karaoke business, so I have PA gear out the ass that I could take and just let them have for a weekend. That would be much better quality, much better usability for them, and everybody in that room could have heard. And it was offered 2 years in a row now, and they have turned it down. So, anyway. So, Colonel, any thoughts?
Well, obviously I wasn't there. Thank goodness I couldn't go. Sorry, Elvira's being a pain in the ass. I don't know how she got out of her prison cell. She's supposed to be in a prison cell for 2 hours. So there's going to be a talk after this. Without going into too much detail, there's one story I heard. And that's all I'm going to say. There's one story I heard. But
I'll tell that story.
It reminded me of something. Okay, BK, if you're still in here, you're going to appreciate this one, buddy. So I love The Warriors, okay? It's one of my all-time favorite fucking movies. There's a scene where they're trying to get through Coney, and they go into the territory of the orphans. First, everything's cool. No, yeah, just as long as you're not soldiering through, you can pass. No big deal. Somebody starts running their mouth, shit changes. Hey, you got to take your vest off. Again, I'm paraphrasing here. It's kind of like, hey, take off your colors. My reply is, fuck you. In the words of the great Swan, fuck you.
I'll tell that story. Okay, so the moderator could not do the last panel of the first day of Saturday. Because he couldn't do the panel because he had a one-on-one interview set up with Lou Ferrigno for his podcast. And first of all, he had 2 hours in between the second panel and the last panel of the day where he could have done this interview outside of panel time, and he didn't do it. Don't say you're going to host all the panels if you're going to just throw them away to get something for your own personal bullshit. If we say we're going to run all the panels and host all the panels, we're going to host all the fucking panels, regardless what we miss outside of the rest of the con. That's just integrity. Integrity Farms, if I can quote South Park on that. Anyway, so guy couldn't do the last panel. They asked one of our friends, and also a volunteer at this con, that first day of the con, he's wearing one of our shirts. He's actually wearing the shirt the Colonel's wearing right now. And, Ziggy might be coming in here shortly. And, And before he hosted the panel, he didn't want to do it, first off, because he's stage fright, basically. Our buddy Al. Al has come on the chat room before. And he didn't want to do it, but he was wearing this DCS shirt, and they said, here, you need to put this on if you're going to do it. Do you have another shirt? No. You need to put this on then. You can't wear that and host this panel. And that's where I think Colonel was getting the whole take off your colors, fuck you thing. And that just kind of made us laugh. And by the end of Sunday, before we left, it was just kind of like, they are really going out of their way to avoid us. They see us, they know we're there, but they are really going out of their way. And it was almost comical in a way, but sad as well. But seriously though, best of luck to them. Other than that, anything else, Colonel?
You guys are being professional. I'm not so sure I'll be 100% professional. So I'm just going to say, be on the lookout next month, September 9th, 10th, and 11th. Not a 2-day, a 3-day horror con.
A real horror con. Will
be taking place here in Cincinnati. And the guys, unfortunately, except for FaZe, I'm going to miss him. I don't think he's making it this time.
No.
We'll be in town. We're going to have all kinds of great shit for you guys. We're going to have panels that you can hear and that we can record. And that have the moderator, as much as I would love to do it, the guy they have do it is fucking amazing. He does a great job. Yeah. There's no complaints. This is a real con. These people aren't out here, bringing in this talent so they can work with them outside of con season. No, it's literally come in, do our con, great, thank you, and you're on your way. So be on the lookout, Horror Con Cincinnati, September 9th, 10th, and 11th. We will get plenty for you fucking guys, and it's going to be a blast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, gang, apologies for not getting any panels. We did get a couple of IDs. We did get a couple of interviews with some vendors that are really cool. Actually, I'm going to show you a couple of things here in a minute. But, Tarek says, I'm not sure I would be as professional as you guys, quoting the Colonel. Speaking for the people as always. Here's the thing. We weren't even sure we were going to address this at all. But then FaZe pointed out in one of the evenings that we were together, he was just like, you know what? The fans, our friends, are going to want to know why there's no footage from this. They're going to know you guys went there. And if we just dropped it, then it would be weird. So that's the only reason we wanted to even say anything about any of this. I was of the almost opinion that we don't need to touch on this because I don't want to be one of those people that's like, well, one bad thing happened to us at this con, so they suck. I'm throwing them under the bus. I am not like that. I am not like that at all. So there you go. We will have more content for you from Cincinnati in a month or so. And we've also got a little bit of content that Ziggy was able to get up in Detroit at Motor City Nightmares. So, but I'm going to go full screen for a minute and show off some of my stuff.
Go right ahead.
All right, so. There we go. Nope, that's not the way I wanted it.
Whoa.
That's not doing it. Nope, it's not letting me do it. So, all right. We'll do it this way, I guess. All right, so I finally got to re-meet Lou Ferrigno. I had to get this one. So, got that. Like that. I like that a lot. We got to meet John Kassir. He did a nice ID for us. The Crypt Keeper, if you don't know. We also got to meet Mark Patton. I'm almost embarrassed to tell you the first question. No, you know what? I'm not embarrassed because I'm not the one running the panel. But the first question asked to Mark Patton was, so for the last 15 years or so since you've been out of the acting business, you've been an interior decorator. Mark Patton looks him dead in the eye and is just like, where'd you get that? Wikipedia? Yeah, Wikipedia also says I like to suck dick too. Not everything you read on the internet is true. And I was losing it in the back of the room. Losing it. Because I just loved his honesty about that. You may have seen this shirt. This is from Paul Bearer Press. They were there this year. I fucking love this. I got this from a guy named Jay motherfucking Roberts. It's framed up. It's epoxied. It's got a big glare on it because my light is very bright. There's a motel key embedded in the blood up here. I was all about this. This is the one that I saw something similar at the Pop Culture Con, and I was just like, you get me this print like that, I will buy it when I see you in August. So, and then I finally started something that I've been wanting to do for a long damn time. I got this from the Down and Outers in Oklahoma City. These guys are fucking amazing. I also got some of this artwork from them. I believe this Jason over here and this is from them. But they also do Hawks, and I finally picked up a sweet fucking Part 3 Hawk. I'm going to get them all. I just wanted to start with Part 3 because my OCD would not let me start with anything else. And this is this is probably my prized possession right now. So
is that made out of fiberglass?
It's a hold on. Does that tell you anything?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful, man. I had Ziggy look at it before I bought it, and yeah, just to make sure it was a good enough quality. And yeah, so anyway, I don't think Ziggy's gonna make it. Yeah, and I got a couple other shirts here, but you guys will see them as the shows go on. But if you're interested in anything like this, look up JMF Roberts on Instagram. Check them out, and then you can find Down and Outers on Facebook for the Hawks and some of these other prints. I would assume they ship. If not, let me know and I'll figure out how to hook you up. I'll make the connection. You guys can talk to them. So, Dave said how much? Dave said how much for the Hawk? That one was $125, sir.
You know what we need to do, since all of us have Hawks, and it's funny because they're in numerical order. We should do an episode, and you're going to hate it because glasses. I know, trust me.
Yeah.
You wear your number 3. Zach wears number 4. I wear my number 5. I'll have to trim the beard up though, so I don't have a bunch of beard fucking hanging out the bottom.
I doubt we could do the whole thing, but
this is all right.
I doubt we could do the whole thing. All right. Let me hit a couple comments and then we'll wrap this up. All right. Derek says, "Oh my God, the Wikipedia reference, gold." James says, "Like that shit, Crank." Thank you, sir. What were you laughing about, Colonel?
No, that's his fucking question. Really? You couldn't lead off with something about fucking Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2?
Or the documentary that he just released a couple years ago?
A couple years ago, yeah.
Well, what's funny is...
You're doing home design, interior design?
Right. What's funny is the next 2 questions that he asked were answered in the first 10 minutes of Mark Patton's Scream Queen documentary.
Mm.
If he had watched even 10 minutes, he would have gotten the answer to that question.
Well, that's what happens when you're handed something and you don't do your fucking research to do the fucking job you've been handed.
Well, when you're out of your element, then that's what's going to happen. Yeah, you know, I'm not going to go to a plumber and say, "Hey, can you come over and fix my electricity?" I'm not stupid. All right. Kiara says, "One of these days we need a DCS horror merch item collection room tour from y'all on the YouTube channel." Yeah, we will need to do that at some point. These guys have a much further extensive collection than I do, but yeah, we could do that at some point. That's worth a do. Mm-hmm. Orlando says, "Good night, guys. See you next week, and get ready for Camp Pleasant Lake, which will begin production on August 29th. Orlando, send us some updates from that if you can, and we'll highlight that for while you're in production on that. Tarek says, my dudes, the prints I won from Curse Your Luck. My youngest put them all up in his room. I love it. I'll get pics for you once he cleans his fucking room. Excellent. And Tarek says, yeah, you don't need to do Hot Ones level deep dives, but know who you're fucking interviewing, for fuck's sake. Yeah.
Yes.
We had stayed up till 4 a.m. Friday night, Saturday morning, prepping questions, because Friday night we didn't know whether or not we were hosting the panels or not. We didn't find out really until about 10 a.m. when we walked in, and we weren't even told by the organizers. We were told by somebody else that was a volunteer, basically. So, God damn it. You see what's going on, don't you, Ziggy? Or don't you, Colonel?
I do. He needs to hurry the fuck up.
All right. While he's still booting, let me say thanks one last time to our members: Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, Luke, S. Michael, Patricia, Tanya, and Tyrone, and our Crazy Ralphs, Raymond, our camp counselors, Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Kiara, and Dave. Thank you, folks, very much.
Hurry up and in. Hurry up and in. Hurry up and in.
All right, it's time for us to go. So thanks for. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Damn it!
I can't do that to him. He flew halfway around the world to get here. So, hey, it's this guy.
Yeah.
Are you even ready yet?
Oh, well, I'm looking at the actual fucking phone screen. So right now everything is black because it's still booting up. My computer died at 7:30 or something. So I can see it, but it's in delay, man. It's all crazy. I just wanted to get on and say what's up and everything, and then hopefully get a chance to speak a little bit on what the fuck all that was about. I'm assuming you played the video.
I did. You gave a 7-minute explanation already.
Okay, good. Hey, man, it's like, I think you guys know us by now, man, where we're coming from. Nobody's even watching anymore. What's going on here?
There's 13 in here. You're good.
Okay, mine's, yeah. See, again, it's a black screen. And, yeah. There I go. I just got thrown out of the fucking match.
Well, Ziggy, you may have to save your thoughts for another day. Because Colonel's got to go.
I said, it's 10 after 10. I'm not trying to be a party pooper, but...
Yeah. I do like this, though. Tarek says, Zig's doing the Indiana Jones sliding under the closing stone door. Don't forget your hat. Carrie, we love you, too. Mm-hmm. And thanks for watching the show.
Yes, most definitely. That always makes me feel happy when you're in here, that, we can entertain you from across the pond. And
12 hours away.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you choose us, but thank you.
Colonel, send them out. Let's wrap this up. We'll get Ziggy next
week.
Let's
do this. We'll give Ziggy single camera fucking next Monday. Like, let him go. We'll unleash the Ziggy. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, it was a pretty good episode. 2 decent movies worth watching if you haven't. Hopefully we've been able to persuade you to check them out. We always want to support horror any way you can. I'll give him one fucking chance.
No, finish up what you're saying.
All right, so anyway, now I'm like blah. So don't get sick. Wash your dick. Don't smell like Scuba Steve. Use Summer's Eve. And remember, never take off your fucking colors for nobody.
And welcome to Death Curse Society. Oh. Sorry, Colonel.
No, we're not. No, we're not starting over.
I got so much rage. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do for the next week, man.
Well, you heard what we were talking about there, so
I
anything
did,
else you want to add?
And as I was watching the comments, I see that our faithful understand totally that it's a bunch of horse shit, and I just hope Crank gave good depictions of the asshole with the phone that saw us and went, oh.
You did a good enough job. We didn't have to. We just let you.
But I mean, he had no conversation. While we were walking by, Crank's like, really? It was embarrassing by them. Yeah.
One thing I didn't mention is another escalator moment was when we were going up the escalator to the panel room. The moderator is coming down at one point, and he looks. There's a group kind of in front of us and even behind us, and he looks at us as an entire group, and he's like, "If you guys are going to the panel room, make sure you have questions." And as he goes by us, I kind of turn around and look at him and I go, "I would say the same thing to you."
Yeah. Totally. I mean, again, good luck with that, all that out there with that. I mean, I don't know, maybe he'll get better with a little more seasoning and a little bit of experience instead of coming in cold like that. But you guys do you, man. You know better. It's fine. It's all good. Good luck. Good luck to you. And seriously, I say it again, man. The people of Oklahoma, some of the coolest fuckers I've ever encountered anywhere I've been, and they deserve something cool like this. I just, it's just a shame that it's in the hands of the unsullied.
Well, you just mentioned it. The people of Oklahoma are some of the coolest you've met. Yeah. I want to tell a story that Faze asked me this weekend, because we were looking for a particular restaurant that we had heard good things about, and it's kind of tucked away. We didn't realize where it was. It's in this. It's basically a food court. Yeah. But it's hidden in this alley, and it's in a weird spot. Anyway, we're wandering around this area trying to find it, and somebody's like, "Hey, can I help you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're looking for Bad Nona's." And he's like, "Oh, it's right in here in the parlor. You go in here, you go around this corner, and that's at the very end." We're like, "Thanks." And as we're walking towards the restaurant, Faze asked me, "Is just like, is that what they're talking about with Southern hospitality? Because you're not in my area. You're not going to have some just stranger walk up to you and be like, 'Hey, can I help you?' Without stealing your fucking wallet and taking your car or your wife. So it was funny.
They are really nice there. I mean, I will say though, man, in the Atlanta airport while I was kicking around in there, they're the nicest fucking people. I mean, I was just talking to the clerk up there, and like I gave her, I had cash. She's like, "Oh, we only take credit cards," and I went, "All right, I got it. Just hang on." And then I was all like, "Fuck." I go, "Do you have one of those vending machines that has the prepaid card like Kansas City does? Because it's for this fucking scam." And she's like, "We're not supposed to do this, but I'm gonna waive the baggage fee." Yes. So I mean,
nice.
Did that, and then pointed me out where the cheap vending machine was. It was like $2 cheaper than what they were selling at their little giant kiosk.
That was in Tulsa then.
Yeah,
Yep.
Tulsa.
Yeah,
okay. Tulsa. No, but I mean, when I got over to Atlanta, it was the same thing, man. They carried it over. Although, dude, Tulsa, man, this laptop dusted for bomb residue. They gave it the old swab test, man. It was weird. I had to wait. Yeah, I had to stand and wait.
Okay, you look like a Unabomber, man.
I heard they profile people that are walking solo, flying anywhere solo. Like that makes them go,
I think Faze had trouble with his luggage too because of those ceramic coasters that he bought. Hopefully, I didn't just give away a gift. But
is Lorena listening? Oh shit!
No.
She said goodnight already. So
okay,
like
good.
A couple minutes ago. I don't know. I just wanted to get in and do a little bit of that. I'd love to hear what you think about Prey real quick, Colonel. Just give me your score. That's all I need.
I gave it a 6.
6. Okay.
I thought you were too harsh on it.
I did dwell on it a bit, but I mean, I wouldn't raise it.
You did,
if at all.
You're not wrong with a 5.
Now, it's important to point out again. I wish I would have been more on that when we were talking. In the whole line of Predator movies, it's pretty good. Okay, but that fucking CGI bear, man. I'm sorry, I don't know if they that was bad, man. That was really
all the CGI was bad. Even the Predator design was bad, in my opinion. I didn't even go into that.
I understood it though. Why it would kind of be that way. It made sense to me. So
still have a fucking UFO. I don't see why he has to wear a helmet made out of bone. I know
Okay.
it's 300 years ago, but
well, again, yeah, it didn't feel like 300 years to me, and that was part of my whole problem with it. But it's cool. We got it covered. Everything was there. I laid it on the tape. I wanted to say hello. Boy, I said I don't want to go another whole week without doing this, man. This is crazy. My ears are still completely stuffed, so I got these things in. It don't matter. Can't hear anything. But it's cool.
we got to go, man.
I know.
Colonel's got to
I
get
know.
to sleep.
Thanks for hanging out. God bless. One con in this country just got really fucking lucky. That's all. And the last thing I will say about the OKC Horror Con. Congratulations. Somebody won the fucking lottery.
Thank you guys for watching. Next week, we will have... Oh, yeah. We're going to have Steve Merlo on, the writer-director of the upcoming Sawyer Family Massacre, a Texas Chainsaw Massacre prequel, I believe, fan film. We're going to have him on to talk about that and some other Texas Chainsaw-related stuff. So we'll see you then. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night. And we love you guys. Thanks for always being the best fans in the goddamn world. Mwah.
Remember, don't take the colors off fucking nobody.
That's right. Don't take the colors off for nobody.
That shit was that when he came back wearing a different shirt, and we saw him come to the table, the cat that runs it, to get the shirt to make sure he changed it. The prick couldn't even give us that.
Good night, folks.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, folks. We'll see you next week. Woo!
Just in the middle of a dream, I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. But I can't be late, 'cause then I guess I just won't get paid. These are the days when you wish your bed was already made. It's just another manic Monday. It was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. I don't have to run day. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. It's just another manic Monday.
Fuck you. How's that?